Hello friends and possibly foes. Today we're going to go ahead and go over how to do some more foot rehab stuff. You're not going to need that much equipment. You're just going to need a small loop resistance band. If you don't have a loop resistance band, you can take one of the long physical therapy bands and tie it in a knot. And we'll also need a blanket or towel or book, depending on what's going on. So we're going to start off with our short foot exercises. This one can be a little bit tricky to understand, so I'm going to make my feet really big, but not to worry, weird people on the internet, I am wearing socks. So you're going to go ahead and start with just one foot, because this can be a little bit tricky when you're trying to figure out what the heck you're doing. So sitting in a chair, just one foot, you're going to think about taking the ball of your foot and drawing it toward your heel. So you're thinking about scrunching your foot without curling your toes. You scrunch, and then you release, and you scrunch, and then you release. Now, if you tend to be on the very bendy side of things, you might find when you scrunch that you can squeeze your entire foot and then the outside edge pops up. So if you notice that that's happening, do me a favor and just squeeze this inside arch part of your foot and try to keep the outside edge of your foot pressed on the ground. And you're just going to keep going here, squeezing, releasing, and squeezing, releasing, until you feel the muscles in your arch of your foot and possibly other places in your foot start to work. For some people, this is going to be really intense. You may actually find some cramping or something that doesn't feel super friendly. If that's the case, you can always feel free to take a break and stretch out your foot as much as you need to. And if you're a veteran of this and you really want to get some reps in, you can do both feet at the same time. But for now, I'm gonna stay on one foot where we're squeezing, releasing. And if you're noticing here that you're having a hard time doing this without curling your toes, don't worry about it, just do your best. And then let's switch over to the other foot. So, same thing, foot stays on the ground, all corners of your feet pressing into the ground, and then you're going to think about drawing the ball of your foot back toward your heel, lifting your arch. Squeeze, release, and squeeze, release. Double checking that your foot, the outside edge of your foot stays on the ground, and try not to curl your toes. You might notice a difference on one side compared to the other. One side might be really easy to coordinate, the other one might feel really hard, and that's okay. That's really normal, especially if you have a side where you've tended to injure things. You might have one side, that side might complain a little bit more. Good, and again, trying to get that arch of our foot to activate. Few more seconds here. Let's do 4 more. And 2 and 1. Lovely. Go ahead and take a second and stretch out your feet if you need to, because that can be a little intense. Next, we're going to take our mini loop band and you're going to go ahead and put it around your ankles. Again, if you don't have a loop band like this, just take a band and just tie it off. You're going to go ahead and start seated in the chair. Feet are going to be underneath your knees. Hands are going to be on your knees because, spoiler, while we do this, your knees are going to want to go on a party by themselves. So your job is to hold on to them. So all we're going to do is we're going to start lifting the heels. It doesn't have to be crazy high if this doesn't feel good for any reason. And we're going to make sure that we have a little bit of tension going out into the band, so we don't want to be falling down. So a little bit of tension here. And now we're going to think about doing that movement that you do when you sprain your ankle and we roll to the outside edge of our feet, let our ankles bow out, and then we're going to come back to center and then see if we can go in. Spoiler, you're not going to be able to go in as far. Then you're going to go ahead and push it back out again. Hands are going to stay on your knees. So you're going to come out and in and out and in. And it's going to keep that rock right at those ankle joints as much as possible. Most people will want to go like this, so they're not actually moving their ankles much at all, but we actually want to keep this really, really in our ankle joint. If you tend to be more on the hypermobile side of things, I don't want you to go as far as humanly possible. I want you to stay in your mid-range. So you push out, you hold just a bit, you come back in, and then you push out, hold just a bit, and come back in. So it's a little bit more controlled and a little bit more in the mid-range. Let's do about 5 more here. And last one. And then we'll go ahead and kick this band off. We can toss it to the side, and then we're going to go ahead and stand up for our last thing. So for this one, we're going to go ahead and put our foot, the ball of our foot, onto our towel, which is going to be on the ground. You can feel free to do this next to a wall if your balance is a little bit funkadelic. So just make sure that you're not feeling like you're about to fall off your leg. If you're going to fall off your leg, then that's not going to be super helpful for the muscles we're trying to work. So we're going to be in a staggered stance here. Our weight is going to be over our front leg. Not a crazy amount. We're not totally on this leg, but most of our weight is in the front and the back is very light. So we're going to lean forward onto that leg, and then you're going to press into the ball of your foot, lift your heel, little hold, come back down. And again, press, lift your heel, come back down, and just repeat here nice and slow. Especially when we tend to not know where our calves are, it's really, we want to go like as fast as possible so we never spend any time actually doing any work. So we want to draw it back and slow it down. And if you're feeling super duper wobbly, go ahead and put your hand on something. And if you're feeling like this is the easiest thing in the world, go ahead and lean forward, put more weight on that front leg. And if your weight is super forward into that front leg, add a little pause at the top with that heel lifted before you go back down. Let's do 5 more. And that's 2 and 1. And then we're going to switch over to the other foot. Same thing. Stagger your feet, weight in the front leg, and we lift our heel and lower it down. If you're noticing that this side is feeling a little bit, or one side is feeling a little bit less controlled, that's okay. Check in with your position, lean forward over your leg, get a little bit weight off your back leg. And if this is hurting your knee, that can mean that you've gone too far forward, so you can draw your leg back a little bit. Think about having your knee not going any further than your toes. And 4,000 cues later, here we are. Let's do 5 more. And you might find I lied, apparently we're doing more than 5. You might find that when you're lowering down, you get a little bit of a shake happening. And if that's the case, that's great. That means we're strengthening the right thing. Good job. Last one. Lovely. Go ahead and let that go. And just like that, you're all done. Your feet will probably be noticeably a little bit more tired than they were before, which means that you did something good. I'll see you in the next one, and have a good day.